Techno, trance, two electronic music genres that dominate dance floors worldwide. But what if I told you these genres are more connected than you think? Today we're diving into the evolution of techno into trance and how the two have formed an unbreakable bond in the music producer's toolkit. Let's unravel their history, influences, and why understanding this connection can make you a better producer. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. Check out all my sample packs at the top of the description as well. This can help take your production to the next level immediately as soon as you download. Thanks for the support, guys, and let's get started. To understand trance, we first need to talk about techno. Techno was born in the industrial landscapes of Detroit in the mid-80s with pioneers like Juan Atkins, Derek May, and Kevin Saunderson paving the way. This music was raw, machine-driven, and heavily inspired by European electronic acts like Kraftwerk. For producers, techno is about minimalism, using synthetic textures, sequencers, and drum machines to create hypnotic rhythms. By the early 90s, techno found a new home in Europe, Berlin to be exact. Clubs like Trance became epicenters for the hard-hitting sound. But something interesting started happening. Producers began pushing the boundaries of techno's rigidity, adding layers of melody and atmosphere. A sense of euphoria started creeping into the cold, repetitive patterns. Producers like Sven Väth and Paul Van Dyk were inspired by techno's intensity, but wanted to add something new. They began crafting longer, more emotional build-ups, paving the way for a new genre, trance. In the early 90s, trance emerged as a genre that fused techno's pulse with layers of melody and ethereal soundscapes. Producers focused on crafting journeys. Tracks were longer, structured around tension and release, building toward that signature euphoric drop. Goa Trance and artists like Paul Oakenfold and Paul Van Dyk took these sounds even further, adding elements from world music, psychedelia, and ambient. So how are techno and trance linked exactly? Well, techno's minimalism was the foundation for trance's structure. Both genres rely on hypnotic repetition with electronic elements. Techno's relentless kick drums are also the driving force for trance. The difference lies in the emotional journey. While techno focuses on tension, trance resolves that tension with a melodic release. For producers, understanding how to build tension like a techno track and release it like a trance drop is crucial for creating that powerful dance floor energy. In modern music production, we see the fusion of these two genres more than ever. Hard techno now often borrows from trance with melodic breakdowns and soaring synth lines, while trance DJs like Armin van Buuren and Marcus Schultz incorporate techno elements in their sets and even play a lot of techno now. The distinction between genres is blurred, giving producers more creative freedom. So how can you use this knowledge to your advantage as a producer? Start by blending the best elements of both genres. Keep it simple, use techno's minimalist rhythms to build tension, but don't be afraid to introduce trance-inspired arpeggios or atmospheric paths to create a sense of euphoria. Experiment with longer build-ups, breakdowns, and the kind of emotional storytelling that trance does so well, while keeping the edge of techno and also the texture of techno. Techno is all about texture, it's all about taking audio and working with it and kind of turning it into something new. So, maybe doing that a little bit with trance, or maybe creating some trance synths and then doing techno processes on them as audio to sort of create that sound. It can all help get you closer to creating a more interesting blend of the two. If you want to get started right now, what you could do is start with the techno kick and bass line to anchor the track, and then slowly introduce some trance type of synths. This is done really well for artists like Narcissus and DJ Heartstring at the moment, right? Use automation to build tension over time with filter sweeps, reverb and delay automation as well can really be your best friend here. I use reverb build automations in like almost every single build up these days, really. And it does really come from trance. That's where EDM got that as well. When the drop hits, make sure it's big enough to rival a trance anthem, but keep some techno texture and grit in the drums and percussion to maintain the underground vibe and the overall warmth. Techno and trance, two genres born from the same roots, evolving in different directions, but ultimately coming full circle. Whether you're producing techno or trance, these genres have so much to offer in terms of sound design, structure, and emotional impact. By understanding their history and relationship, you can tap into a well of inspiration that will take your production to the next level. If you enjoyed this deep dive into techno and trance, hit that like button and subscribe for more producer-focused content. And definitely check out the sample packs at the top of the description. This website has everything you need to get started right now, immediately available for download. If you grab these samples, you will make the best track of your life today. Let's all keep pushing the boundaries of electronic music together.